Hey friends, in today's video we're going to be talking about meditation, specifically how to start a meditation practice. Now, there are many apps and programs, places online, guided meditations on YouTube, anything like that. Play with it, experiment with it, see if you find something that resonates. I'm going to give you really basic instructions with which you can just start a foundational practice of your own making. But if you resonate with any of those other things, please just start meditating, just start sitting. It doesn't have to look a certain way, but I will share some tips with you so that you can get started right now, maybe after this video. Ooh, challenge. So, first things first. You need to find a place where you can practice meditation. Set aside a time and a space for yourself in which to practice. This, my friends, is the so-called practice container. You have to make one for yourself. If you're not going to a group sitting practice or a class, the impetus is on you to create your own little practice container, and that can be as simple as saying, I'm going to meditate the first thing as soon as I wake up, and I wake up at 6:30 a.m. So 6:35 a.m. I'm going to be meditating in, this part of the room. That's actually where I sit, is a little bit back there. And I'm gonna sit on, here I'll show you. I sit on this. This is a folded crocheted blanket that a beautiful friend from Indiana crocheted for me about 4 or 5 years ago when I was leaving Indiana and moving to Hawaii. I still have it. It's still imbued with a lot of loving energy. So I like to sit on it, and I like to sit on it when I make videos too. So a folded blanket, a folded towel, a meditation cushion if you're going to be fancy about it and all get the props, That's fine, but you don't have to. You can use a yoga mat rolled up, you can use a pillow, I have those cushions back there, but they're more sitting cushions. They're a bit too high. Find what's comfortable for you, and everyone's hips are different. So I'm sitting on something that's quite low and not very supportive. But if you're just sitting for 5, 10, 15 minutes, you'll figure out kind of what height of a support that you need. For a longer session, I would probably need something a little bit more supportive than this. But I tend to meditate usually 10 to 15 minutes every morning, and that seems to be a comfortable amount of time to be on this blanket. So you got your time, 6:35, you got your place right over there, you got your seat, and it's all set up for yourself. So 6:35 comes around, you sit down. You sit down. What I like to do is I get my phone out and I'll put a timer on for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 5 minutes, however long I want to sit. And I will press start, put it down, put the phone away. Better yet, if it's on airplane mode so it's not zinging the whole time. You want your space to be quiet, as quiet and peaceful as you can manage with your life. So early morning can be really helpful, a time when the kids aren't running around, the husband, whoever, wife, girlfriend, etc. You can just be. So you sit, you breathe, you check in with your posture. You want your back to be straight, you want your shoulders back. You want a strong back. You don't want to be like this. You don't want to be too arched back. Comfortable back. Head and neck relax. Shoulders relax. hips relaxed as much as possible. Basically, you can just start kind of scanning your body for tension and to find just what's comfortable for your body right now. You know, what feels okay in your body? What doesn't feel okay in your body? Just notice that. Just notice what's going on. You want your head and neck relaxed. Right now I'm looking up because I'm looking at the camera. But you would want to look, you could look this far up. You could have a gaze that's, you know, a bit raised. Or you could gaze straight ahead. Or you could gaze anywhere between straight ahead and to the floor. Even as close as like 2 feet in front of you. You find a gaze that's comfortable and works with your head and neck. I tend to gaze usually about straight forward, and that feels good. Some days if I'm really like, I'll be looking up, but usually about straight forward. Your eyes, they can be open or closed. Friends, play with this. I meditated for years with my eyes closed. Then I dove way deep into Shambhala Buddhism, and they teach eyes open meditation, which I thought was super weird at first. But then I ended up really, really liking it. And with eyes open meditation, you're not like staring at something, you know, intensely, right? Like it's not that kind of situation. You want to have a relaxed, open, soft gaze where you're not really looking at anything in particular. Your eyes are just relaxed and open and aware. You're just taking in your environment, but you're not focusing necessarily on the external environment. It's just there. You're just there. And you breathe. You breathe. You notice your thoughts as they arise. You can bring your attention back to your breath. You can bring your attention back to your body. You can focus on either of those as needed. And the key is to just be aware of whatever's going on. If your mind is racing and you're having lots of thoughts, you just notice them. You know, asterisk here, if you're really depressed or really angry in a very dark space, this is not necessarily the time to meditate and like dwell in that. So please be aware of that. Also be aware that meditation is not a substitute for, you know, psychotherapy or getting help with really deep traumatic issues, but it can be a really, really helpful day-to-day practice. So you're just sitting, you're noticing, and if you're having like an absolutely terrible experience, that's when maybe it's not the best thing for you. But if it's like mildly uncomfortable and yet you're able to just like stick with it for the 5 or 10 minutes that you've sat on your phone, then be with it. You know, I trust that you can discern whether it's okay and healthy for you or not. So you're just sitting, you're just breathing, you're just being, and you're noticing. And that's all you have to do the entire time. There are many variations of meditation. There are many techniques, tricks, you know, visualizations, manifestation work, you know, guided work. There's yoga nidra you can try. I've got a whole playlist of yoga nidra. There's really a lot you can do with this practice, but it really can be as simple as what I described to you, which I will review right here, right now. So set up your own container, choose a time, a space, get a meditation cushion, pillow, blanket, something you can sit on for 5 to 10 minutes, however long you're going to sit. Then number 2, actually sit. Make sure it's a quiet enough time and you can be unbothered. Number 3, you set your phone alarm for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, however long. You sit, you notice your breath, you notice your body, you follow those postural instructions I gave you. You choose whether your eyes are open or shut, you know, how far up you look. And you try your best to make yourself, you know, as comfortable as you can, while also balancing this discomfort that can come up as well. And what I was taught in Tibetan Buddhism, Shambhala Buddhism, is you want it to feel like not too tight, not too loose. Like you aren't just sitting there and you've like, your mind is gone to Thailand and you are like gone. You're not in your body. You're not in touch with your breath. You're gone. That would be too loose. Whereas too tight, you might be looking 2 feet in front of you and you're like, everything in your body hurts and like, oh my God, you're like beating yourself if you can't stay focused on your breath every single second. That would be too tight. So somewhere in the middle, and being mindful and respectful if your experience is, you know, re-traumatizing or you're having really bad reaction to the sitting meditation I just described, then maybe it's time to get some psychological help. Maybe right now is not the best time to sit. So being mindful and respectful of that. And as for closing the session, you know, your timer goes off. You can do a simple namaste and gratitude. You know, you can add on an additional spiritual practice of your choice. Usually I sit and then I flow into some other things. So I don't really like close out necessarily of my meditation session, but it really can be as simple as a namaste. It's just like a feeling of gratitude for the practice, gratitude for yourself, for showing up, for sitting, for being someone who dares to meditate. And yeah, you can then just kind of go about the rest of your day. You know, you could hold silence for a little bit if you choose to, and try and just kind of like relax into the rest of your day, and be mindful and be grateful that you took the time to do that for yourself. So all right, friends, that's it. It's that simple. It's not hard. I mean, it is. It can be hard to like start and stick with meditation practice. That's why I really only recommend 5, 10, 15 minutes. Make it manageable, make it small. You know, if you're cruising along at 10 minutes a day and you want to add more at some point, that's the time to add more. But a goal like half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, or twice a day, that can be too much, too hard. Thus, you're unable to stick with it. And I think there's a real magic that happens when we choose smaller goals that we can actually accomplish every day and build on that foundation that we create for ourselves. So leave a comment. Do you meditate? How do you meditate? You know, let me know. I'm curious to hear where you're coming from, and if you have any other tips. If you have any questions, I would love to connect with you. I love meditating. I love you for watching this video, and like it if you like it. Subscribe for more, and much love to you. Namaste, friends. Get your butt on a cushion. All right, after this video is over, you're gonna meditate 5 minutes, okay? All right, namaste.